guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back reunited with Mr. Choc here. I don't tend to see Choc over Christmas because his owner is back from school and she can ride him. So me and Choc are back together, which is lovely because he is one of my absolute faves. Even though obviously it's nice that the ice and the frost and just the freezing cold temperatures has gone, it's not that warm. I've got my heated gilet on right now and I'm quite grateful for it because I obviously don't have my big coat on because I thought I don't need that extra coat on now. I actually could have done with wearing it today. So yeah, very grateful for the heated gilet, just keeping me toasty. How's everyone been doing? Did you survive last week's? Well, actually this will go out next week, so currently we're the week after all the ice and snow and freezing temperatures, and I'm really pleased to see the back of it because I was getting bored of not being able to use the arena and losing lots of work because the roads were too icy to hack on. And last week was a bit of a difficult week, whereas this week I feel like it's a fresh start. We're finally getting back into a routine. All the kind of normal work has come back in, and yeah, it's good to be kind of back to normality as such. I appreciate it a lot. This video today I'm going to show you Sienna's sort of new, I don't want to call it a rehab routine because it's not really rehab, but a kind of routine in getting her stronger core wise and to improve her posture, which I mentioned in the last video, which is absolutely rubbish, with the intentions of then trying to get back on her probably the end of February, depends on the weather really. Sienna is good. She sort of survived last week. She was a little bit wild yesterday. I put her on the lunge for the first time because I haven't been able to use my arena, and she did a lot of galloping, trying to go flat out on a 15-metre circle like she does, and just really seeing Choc just being a bit of a donut, but hey, she's never going to change. So yeah, really just now working towards getting back on her in February and hopefully kind of going down the road of sorting her out and, you know, really getting her fixed. The plan for this year. But anyway, let me show you our current routine. Afternoon, guys. It's a grey, foggy, miserable, damp day out there. You'll see I'm not best pleased about the weather. It's horrible. Lots of people have got blue skies today. We've just got dreary, rubbish weather. If I kick the door open, I don't know if you're going to see, look, foggy out there, miserable. Anyway, Sienna's like, get on with it. I don't want to go for a hack. I hacked yesterday. I don't really want to go for a hack today. So I'm going to lunge Sienna. I've been doing lots of work in canter with her over raised poles, which I think is doing her a lot of good. Trying to strengthen those back muscles, trying to improve her core strength. A sort of rehab, ready to getting back on board at the end of February, hopefully, if the weather plays ball. Just everything that's going to strengthen her back up. So where do we start? The Equestrian. I put this heat pad on her. Normally I then go off into the arena and move the poles around and set that up. Give this about sort of 10-15 minutes just to warm that back up because she can be a little bit explosive. So I just think if the back is already a little bit warmed up, that might help because I don't want her straining anything or, you know, injuring herself any more than she already does. So this is going on first. I don't use it in summer. In fact, I don't use it in spring, summer or autumn. I just use it in winter when it's cold. Being overly sensitive today. She didn't like me folding the rug back on her bottom. Anyone that's been following my channel for a while will know that actually initially getting a rug on Sienna was very difficult. She wasn't a fan. I can't do this one-handed either. Anyway, I tend to just put the pad in the middle of her back. Also quite good for warming up her muscles because I'm going to do some stretches with her before I take her in the arena. And then I put her rug back on just to, it helps keep it in place and just keeps her warm because obviously it's quite cold at the moment. You right, Stroppy Moo? Don't know why you're so sensitive today. It's very sensitive. I am out with Sienna and I'm going to show you the sort of current stretches and exercises we're doing with her before we work her to help, you know, develop this back muscle that she so needs to do. I do it on the yard because in the stable she spends her whole time just staring at me and bending her neck and walking around the stable, and it's just really difficult in there. So if I do it on the yard, most of the time, I mean, she's licking the wall at the moment because the salt lick has dripped down onto it, but she'll lick her lick and then she just tends to stand a bit quieter. It isn't easy getting her to stand square. She seems to naturally like to stand with her legs in funny directions, but she's not too bad right now. The first exercise I'm going to start with, and this is new to me, and I saw it on, I think, Gillian Higgins' not Facebook page, her YouTube page, so go and check her out. And that was the With a Rock. Thank you for keeping moving here. You're meant to be standing still. The With a Rock, which actually she's recommended for older horses, but because we know that Sienna obviously has issues with her back, I thought this would be quite a nice way to kind of just get a little bit of movement through her withers. I think that would sort of also work down to kind of where her kissing spine issues are as well. And it's really simple. I'm going to jump on and do a voiceover because I didn't do a very good job of explaining how to do the With a Rock. Anyway, you put your fingers gently on your horse's withers, and you want to sort of pull the withers towards you and then push them away. And you want to kind of get into that rocking motion, a very steady rocking motion. And you can really see your horse shift their weight in their front legs. It's really clever. And like I say, very visible. Make sure you do it on both sides of your horse. I don't demonstrate this, but make sure you do it on both sides of your horse. And it's just great for their core engagement, sort of stabilization. And, you know, they have to sort of balance themselves while you're doing it. It's easier if she is in neutral position. So ideally I want her head in neutral, not on the floor. So it's very light, and you just want to get into, now stand, into a bit of a rhythm with it. Stand. Like it's the lightest of touches, but I can see her weight going from the left leg to the right leg, to the left leg to the right leg, and it's just sending that little bit of movement through her withers, hopefully a little bit into her neck as well, and into her back. Honestly, this is like take 50, trying to get her to stand square and not move. Stand. You can just, I don't know how well you're going to see it on the camera, but I can see it. You can really see her adjusting her weight from the left leg to the right leg. It's so clever. Oh guys, I'm having a right morning. The fog has rolled in again, which is very annoying because it's jolly cold. And when editing my vlog last night, I realised that I had deleted the majority of the stretches I had done for it. They take quite a long time because, you know, sometimes Sienna doesn't really like to stand still. So take 2, but I meant to be working half an hour, so it's not the best timing for this. I also broke my tripod this morning. Again, not the best timing. Anyway, hopefully I have still got the withers rock, which I've already shown. We will then move on to the lifting of the hindquarters. Now, don't do this if your horse is not trustworthy and is likely to kick out or something like that. It's just not worth the risk. Start by doing it from the side. Oh, croaky voice. Start by doing it to the side and sort of training them to be okay with you by their bottom. So yeah, it is dangerous. So, you know, there is always the risk that the horse could kick out at you. So if you are any concern that your horse is a bit jumpy, a bit young, a bit nervy, don't do it. Don't do it. So you ideally need them to stand square. Oh, well, not quite there. It was a good attempt, Sienna. I use 2 hoof picks. You could use 2 brushes. You could just use your fingers and give them a good scratch. But what you want to do is put your thumb along their tail and hold your palm out like that. And it's sort of there where you want to be itching. So do it both sides. There is where I want to be itching. And when we start to itch their bottom, their back tends to lift up and they arch, and you really see them lift through. And the reason this exercise for Sienna especially is so good is because it's working her sacroiliac and it's making her just move it a little bit. And it's really important that she does. So again, be safe. Don't do this unless you absolutely trust your horse. Start quite light touch, just doing these little circles. Can you see her lifting? I don't know if you're going to be able to see her lifting, guys. Look how much she comes up through the hindquarters. It blows my mind. And you're moving. Sienna, and that one. And let's see. Biggest fidget bump. We'll do it again. I tend to find she's most responsive the first time I do it, and after that she gets less and less. But you can see her lift up through her hindquarters. Incredible. And she quite likes it as well. So I'm going to do another one, which would be classed as quite dangerous. Because I'm going to do a tail pull. Again, I think I saw this one on Gillian Higgins. So you are going to want to be directly behind them. I kind of go past the dock and then I hold just after that. You want a good hold as well. And I just take a little bit of weight. I sort of lean back on my heels. And I just kind of hold. I'm not pulling, I'm not yanking, I'm just holding. So this is a really good stretch for your horse's muscles. Also helps them balance and sort of find their centre of mass. And it's quite stimulating for their core muscles, which we know Sienna needs to work on, and sort of just stabilising themselves. And the other thing you can do when doing that exercise is you can do a rocking motion on the back, so you can go back and forth. So taking the pressure on and off while holding your horse's tail just means that your horse has to work even harder at sort of stimulating their core muscles and sort of stabilising and balancing themselves. 2 really good exercises. Right, we are going to do the belly lift with her, which hopefully she's going to come up through here. Fingers crossed anyway. There's two ways you can kind of do it. One is that you put the palm of your hand under kind of where the girth would go, and you rub your hand back and forth under their stomach. She doesn't particularly like that, so I don't tend to do that. I just go with my hands under where her girth would go, and I put some pressure on her, and that tends to make her lift up. Where are you off to? Go. And we're looking for her to come up here. I get more response from her than other times. I'm going to say today, not such a response. Honestly, this fog, how foggy it is. It's so annoying, it just keeps flying in. Excuse the poo stain on her neck. And then obviously I do carrot stretches with her. I'm not going to show you those on the yard. I'd only do those in the stable, but I only do two types. One is to do the one between her front legs. I don't go right between her front legs though, because she then tends to bend a knee, and that's of no use to us. So I tend to go sort of just in front of her front legs at the moment. And then the other one is to bring her head round to her side, fairly low down. I probably have her head kind of around here. Hello. And quite a wide space between her stomach and her head. So I don't want her too tight here. I want her more out here. And so we do those 3 times on each rein. And that is our stretches. So not too many, it's more of the issue, just getting her to stand still and stand square. That's the biggest issue, isn't it, dear? Yes. Right, I'm going to put your rug back on because it's actually quite chilly. Hopefully I won't delete this time. So I try and do some walk poles with her every day when possible. Sometimes I literally walk her in hand, other times I will long rein her. Today I was long reining her with just a head collar on, because I find her neck and head placement is so much better with a head collar. When she's got the bridle on, she carries her head that little bit higher and she can be a bit fussy in the mouth. That being said, in head collar I don't have the opportunity to help her improve her bend as much, and sometimes turning can be a little bit harder, but generally speaking she's very good to long rein and very easy and very responsive to the voice. Now today's session, you can see I've done half raised poles along my fence line because actually it's a really good height along there to place the poles, and then this sort of half circle with 2 poles raised. When doing walk poles, I really like to have some height to them, and it's kind of good to long rein because you can do a lot more transitions which are useful, and I just think her whole frame is better and she's kind of listening more when I'm long reining compared to just doing it in hand. If I'm walking her in hand over the poles, I've probably already taken her for a hack or maybe had lunged her or something like that. Also, it's very good fitness for me because, you know, I end up having to climb over all the poles as well. So yeah, all in all, I try and change my pole layouts every few days. Like I said, sometimes I'll do even higher raised poles than this in walk. I'll do a long line of poles and weave her in and out. Just keep mixing up to keep her interested. But it's so good in walk, isn't it? Like, you can just see how much more lift they've got to put in and more effort they've got to put in when they're walking. And this is going to improve her back muscles. It's going to help her arch through her back. It's going to hopefully help her engage those core stomach muscles that she needs to tighten and use better. And engage the hindquarters stepping over the poles. There's just so many benefits to it. After working Sienna in the arena, I then back her up the slight slope which is going into my arena. It's like the perfect height. I just slowly back her up, doing this about 3 times. At the moment she's very distracted because she saw somebody eating a banana and she wanted the banana, and so she had a bit of a strop about it. But I ask her to back up very slowly. This is such a good exercise because it requires obviously a much higher degree of balancing and strength from the horse than backing them up on the straight. Obviously, you want their head and neck to be in neutral position, not like a giraffe, as Sienna is showcasing right in this moment. And it really encourages your horse to like use their back properly and engage the hindquarters. Great for working those top line muscles. So it's a really good exercise to do. Like I say, you want them to obviously walk back straight. You want them to hopefully not be distracted. Keep a neutral head and neck position and just take it nice and slowly. Because like I say, it's actually quite a hard exercise to do. I am going to leave the video there, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your week. We're nearly at the end of January. In fact, when I upload this video, it's only just over a week left. Get in. That is good. That's flown by, absolutely flown by. Anyway, as I always say with any kind of rehab type style video, I'm not a vet, I'm not a physio. If you are rehabbing your horse, check with them first what exercises, stretches are suitable. I've taken all my kind of inspiration from physios and things that I've watched online and things that I just think will work and benefit Sienna. But obviously you need to check with your physio and vet first to be sure that it's going to benefit your horse and that you're doing it properly. And I can't say that I'm 100% doing it correctly. Fingers crossed I am though. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye from me and Coco.